Yeah, okay. Yeah, so just show them on the position first so they know what we're talking about. From the T Kimura?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Yep.
No, sorry, maybe we didn't talk, but just on the plane north-south and they've got the knee, and they've got you really...
Yeah, we didn't do this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we didn't do this.
I'd like to
Like how you deal with this?
Yeah, how would you...
Yeah, so guys, every Kimura defense is going to be the exact same, alright? So when we look at something like this, we have to look at, again, the risks of what is involved here, alright? So if you go back to the position for me. Kimura is a huge risk, right? Definitely. What else is a risk here? Anyone? Yell it out, guys. Armbar, 100%. What else? Triangle, 100%. What else? Scissor choke. Yeah. What else? Back is yeah. What else?
Wrist lock.
Wrist lock, 100%. Yeah. What else?
Stepping over.
Yep. Yeah. Tread plata. Yeah. What else? Leg entries. Guys, this is a fuck position because you can basically attack everything you want to attack. Okay. So the first thing that Johan needs to do is make sure that he doesn't have his arm isolated. Okay. So arm isolation is huge. All right. So grabbing his thigh. Inside his thigh is a good option, okay? Grabbing your hands together is not a bad option either, but he needs to be careful if he connects his hands. If you can't see, you guys, you have to move. If he does this is bad, okay? Not only because the arm is off the chest, but if Colin steps his left foot through that position there, he's got triangles now, etc. Alright, so he needs to keep his elbows tight, which is why I prefer to go to the thigh if I can. And usually I can because I can bring my thigh to my wrist, alright? That frees up this hand here, okay? This hand now is actually going to go to Colin's knee. Yes. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to push as I bring my back to the ground and my elbow to the floor. Yes. And now we're here and we're back into that same escape, alright? The reason this works really well is Colin can't follow us with that leg when we post on the knee, alright? But again, guys, this is not a good position. You've got like 8 submissions that you're going to have to defend at the same time, okay? So you can't just stay here. That's the main issue that most people do, is they hang out in that position and they'll just hold on. Alright? It's terrible. Okay, you're gonna lose energy. So go again. Especially for someone like myself who has really bad shoulders, okay? The Kimura is probably the worst threat for me here, due to the fact that I feel like if you get me in a different position, I have a better chance of defending. Alright? So worst comes to worst, if I feel like Colin's really tugging on my arm and I might lose it, there's a good chance I'm probably just going to go to my knees here. Yeah, try and force Colin to go to my back. Does that make sense? Like, force Colin to let go and try and attack my back. Yeah, make him make a decision. Alright, but let's say he's too smart for that and he keeps me on my side. Thigh first, boom, so we don't get arm isolation. Okay? I have a free hand now. Keep the elbow tight to the body so he can't step through to go to triangles, etc. And it posts on his knee. As it posts on his knee, okay, my elbow needs to get inside his elbow, okay? I can't bring it back towards his chest. I'm just going to pull my own arm out. So as I go towards my back, I push where the knee is. I bring the elbow down. Good. Now, stay there, centered. I might give up north-south, okay? Fine. I'd rather be in north-south than have my arm in a Kimura, okay? And now we start to apply some north-south defense. Does that make sense? Yeah. Again, man, because there's so much going on there, we could spend a whole lesson on this.
Yeah.
That would be my go-to number 1. Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? Any questions, guys? It's gonna be shit for YouTube, isn't it? Anything, guys?
When, say for instance, someone's got a good grip and they're going to that tree bar, their legs coming across, would you employ like a standard, or not a standard, but an armbar escape, or would you, it's in that the leg coming over, would you be defending much prior to like getting, like, because it feels like it's a very unique kind of grip. Like,
So show what you mean.
So if if you're up top, and it's just at this point, when say look here, they've got a good clamp,
Yeah.
and they come here,
Yeah.
like, how would you be rolling? I mean, or just sort of trying to get it, because it feels like it's a much more secure grip.
Yeah.
And when you bury that in, it's kind of like.
Yeah. Alright, guys, so this is a really good question, right? Perfect what you and I just did there, alright? Take the arm out, Colin. We have to look at this armbar like any other armbar, alright? What's the issue now that Colin's pulled that arm out? arm isolation, alright? So yeah, he can armbar me straight away. So I need to be able to move from here, okay? If I lock my, just step over your arm, Johan, and lock your thigh. Yeah, he doesn't have arm isolation, okay? So how would you defend a normal armbar from close guard, let's say, if you had a very good grip?
If who has a very good grip, Colin,
You do have a very good defensive grip.
like try and probably snap him up.
Beautiful. So Johan, from here, what most people do is they sit here and they try and lift their head, right? But the more Colin flares that knee, and they flare your right knee, Colin, yeah. The more Johan's head goes away from his hips, the easier it is for Colin to keep his posture down. Keep putting it down, Colin. Yeah. Does that make sense? So guys, once I've got this locked up, I actually don't want to go forward or up, okay? I want to drive towards Colin, yeah? Start stacking Colin here, good. And now we can start to use our left hand to pry the legs open, yes, and start to create some dilemma here, all right? Now Colin has to make a decision. Does he stay on this armbar or does he risk losing it? From here, where Johan is, Johan can actually jump to this side of the body. Yep. Other way, other way. Yeah, this is fine too, this will work, yeah. Or this way as well. Beautiful, step all the way over. Yes, and Cole's going to lose the position. Okay. Now, if Colin isolates the arm, instead, we can't do any of this. Because the second that we try and do any of this, Colin's going to put the armbar on, and we're going to start to move, right? And we're going to start to lose the position, So yes, this is where I would be looking to roll. But what most people do is they roll and they keep the arm extended, right? Johan needs to roll, your arm is already extended. So there's no point in just trying to like pull your elbow to the ground. What I'm trying to do when I roll is get the legs over my head. So go again, roll, push the legs over the head. Yes, look, and now turn up and in. Yes, and now look where we are. Does that make sense, guys? My arm is already isolated. Therefore, I do not have a grip on my own hands. Therefore, if I roll and this hand, which is not the one being attacked, is doing nothing, you're giving yourself a disadvantage, right? Because you're going to end up in the same position. But as I roll, this hand is now pushing the feet over my head. So when I do get there, I can sit up and turn, which is the defense we used last time, right? Does that make sense? So those again, Cole, two options, all right? If I've got my arms locked, whether it's hands or thigh, I prefer thigh, so I can use this. We're looking to stack and pressure. If my arm is isolated, I'm looking to roll, but as I roll, I'm looking to move the legs off my head. Yep. Answer your question? Cool. Anyone else? Anyone else, guys? Anything at all. Doesn't have to be armbar related. Can be any question at all. No, if not, we've got an hour of rolling. Yeah.
What other escape is there other than the hitchhiker escape from an armbar?
Very, very great question, man. So if you go back, we covered this a little bit last night. It depends on the leg configuration. Yeah. The hitchhiker is okay. Probably not your best option, man. Your best option is to always try and get underneath. So like Johan, lock your bicep. Yeah, cool, underneath. Yeah, and try and put Colin like up towards me. Yeah, and stack. This is a better option. Yeah, because you've got gravity. Does that make sense? The hitchhiker escape, you have to unlock your arms. Anytime you unlock your arms, you risk the chance of arm isolation and losing. This is a better option. Go back, Johan. If Colin has the feet over the head, Colin go right foot under his head, left foot over. Yeah, we spoke about this last night. The hitchhiker and the elbow to the ground won't work. So what he's going to do is he's going to lock on. Yeah, so just lock like the thigh if you can, Johan. Right hand's going to go, left hand's going to go to his knee, underneath. Yeah, and you're going to walk towards him as you push and come up. Yes. Yeah, Will, do you want to do it? Did you do it last night? Will asked this question last night. Yeah, so this is a bad one, right? Because Will can't get the feet off the head, and he can't sit up because both feet are on the ground, and he can't pull his elbow to the ground. So he's going to lock to make sure there's no arm isolation. Yeah, his hand's going to come off. As he walks his feet towards Colin, now he can start to sit up. Good. Because Colin has no base or balance going backwards because he has to connect to the arm. Does that make sense? So those are two other options, man. But again, it all depends on leg configuration and where the legs are. Yep. Anyone else? What's got questions today?
I've got a question just about side control.
Yeah, guys, anything. Again, guys, I'm not here for a month. Yeah, and if you send me a question when I'm in the UK, you're going to get left on red. Alright?
This is a very general question.
Yeah.
I struggle to get out from underneath the bottom side control. Just what are some ways you can...
Yeah, so, Sam, you go quick. The easiest one I like to do, man, exactly, is frames. So, Sam's got a frame across the shoulder, both shoulders, right? If Queen has isolated that arm to like an underhook with your right arm, yeah, but head on this side, not head and arm shot, yeah, cool. This is the big error, right? A lot of people will try and bring their hand in front of the face to try and get. I don't want to do that. What Sam wants to do is bring his elbow to the ground, lock to Quinn's elbow, so he can't, over the top spine, so he can't bring it out. And now he's going to circle his wrist. His elbow's going to, yeah, see how his wrist circles? There's no space there. Now he gets shoulder to shoulder, and he's got a good frame. His left elbow will try and touch this far hip where you are, and same thing, you'll create a frame across Quinn's hips. Now when Sam bridges up, he's not pushing Quinn off him. He's actually trying to touch his elbow 6 to 12. So if you just watch here without them doing it, he's not doing this, okay? It's all elbow and bridge. He's going 6 to 12, so that Quinn will sit on the top of his frame. All he's done now is create space to get his bottom leg in. So if he goes again, he goes 6 to 12, see the space, now the leg comes in. Now we can start to work from here. Even if he's locked into like a shin here and Quinn's got the same grip, Quinn can't, just keep looking around it. Quinn can't push in from here. The shin connection is going to stop him from getting the side control. Does that make sense? So frames first, but frames, smart frames, not just moving your hand in front. Lock the arm, circle the wrist, get the frame in, bridge, 6 to 12 with the elbows to create the space, then the leg comes in. Yeah? Again guys, a lot of these questions, we're just going through like one option. Alright? Obviously there's more options. Some people like different stuff, some people have better options from there. These are just the ones I'm giving you that are, one, are easy to retain and put into a live role instantly, and two, just the base. Okay? That's the question. Yeah. Anyone got anything else?
Yeah. Actually, when I've been rolling with you, you've been isolating my arm up. And once it's up, I've got no answers for that. Do I just not need to get to that, or is there a way to do anything?
You can not let me do anything, bro. You feel pretty good. You're feeling pretty good. Now, one of the big things that people do is obviously, like, it's hard, man, but one of the big things people do is they try and pull their arm out. You actually don't want to pull your arm out. You want to put your arm back in. Like, you want to go further in. The issue with that is I'm still going to have control. So what I've actually got there is the control of the position, but I also have the threat of submission. So the issue is that when we're rolling, you have to deal with two things at once, which is a dilemma, right? That's what you want to do to everybody. Okay, so you then have to pick, are you more worried about the submission, or are you worried about me controlling the position and potentially upgrading the position to a mount, to a back, to a sweep, whatever it is. Yeah? So it's more of a decision than it is a technical error that you're making. Yeah? I would defend the submission. So I would go in and risk getting my back or mounted than the submission. You'd rather have good submission defense than just be spasming out and get caught every single time and restarting the position. You'd rather understand the position better and learn, because then you can start to go, okay, when I go in, how's he sweeping me? When I go in, how's he taking my back? But if you just keep trying to pull your arm out, getting submitted, you're not going to learn. Yeah. So what a lot of people do, like, you're a bit sweet, so use you print. So if I get this position, it doesn't matter about the grips, let's just look at the position, alright? What a lot of people will do from here now is they'll try and pull their arm out or try and pull their body back. As Brent does that, it isolates the arm.
Yeah.
Okay? So what Brent's doing right now is actually the best thing for him. His arm's not in any danger now. The issue is if Brent tries to get out of this, he can't. Especially if he's got a good one. If I like lay back here and Brent just brings his arm in front of my face, he's going to get out. Right? But that's not what I'd be doing. Okay? So I'll be here nice and tight. Brent tries to free that arm. Lift me up, whatever, he can't. That's the issue, right? That's where this hand comes into play, which most people don't use, but then this causes other problems. Okay, as Brent starts to bring that across my face now to use that arm, Yeah, this is where other options will come in. I can start to overhook from here. Okay, if he brings it under and through, bring it under my elbow. Yeah, if he starts to, bring it under and through. I can start to look to spin for arm bars on this arm. Okay, as he brings it under and through, maybe I use that now as an elbow post to start to bring him up. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So for now, I will go in, see what other options the person is using, then start to counter from there. Anyone else? Nope. We good? Alright guys, water, toilet.